recording? Okay, cool.
That Jits Life. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah,
That
happy
Jits
to.
Life.
Yeah,
And
happy to be here.
once again, some
Sporting
random
the-
location.
Sporting the shirt, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Not so random, right? There's some history to this corner, right? Or this side of the mat.
A little bit. On the opposite sides where I got my ankle broken. Yeah, there's definitely been some multiple taps. We're here at Memento Combat Sports, which reminds me real quick, this episode is sponsored by a few companies. We got Farm Bus, Tennessee, locally sourced organic fruit and vegetables, meat, all kinds of stuff, eggs, delicious. Coach Dan and his family here have that going. Farm Bus is done for the season, but we still have some stuff here in the fridge at Memento. And yeah, they do the bus, so they'll be in the parking lot and some churches here coming up, I guess, then next season. Memento Combat Sports, which is where we are right now, which is how most people know of me or know of us or know of That Jits Life, is where we train. So we're on the mats in the corner where we actually train, and Recalibrate Active Recovery Studio upstairs, sauna, cold plunge. So anyway, Cory Tallent, welcome.
Yeah,
Appreciate
glad to
it.
be here, man.
This is very, very strange to do this without this is the first time doing this. This is the, I guess, technically 11th episode I've done. There's 2 or 3 that have not been aired or didn't get edited properly or whatever. But
Okay.
anyway, man, so this is very, very odd
Yeah,
for me.
it's
But
my first time being on a podcast, so
Yeah.
definitely odd for me.
yeah, I bet, man. Well, again, thanks for being on, man. We'll, we talk about a lot of jiu-jitsu related stuff, and then it's fitting that we're on the mats where, I don't know if you tapped someone here this morning, if you got tapped this morning. How was training this morning?
Well, I just did drills this morning, no rolling, so I kind of
that's
hurt my
right.
elbow on Friday,
Yeah.
so yeah, I kind of took yesterday off, and this morning was a lighter day, so
Yeah.
no rolling today.
So was it Shay? Was he like really mean and he?
No, it was
Arm
a
guard
like
or
a
something?
reverse Kimura thing. Kind of got my arm bent this way,
Yeah.
and it popped a little bit. So, but I don't think it's anything too serious. Just needs a little time to heal. So
Old man shit.
just old man,
stuff.
old man, and this is the old man recovery corner.
This
over
whole
here.
section right here, yeah. I
So-
was gonna say, I've mentioned a bunch of times in a bunch of these episodes how we have like an old man corner.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
stretch out, and this is like one of my main old man training partners, you along with Rick and
Yeah, man.
a couple other people that aren't as old but are starting to get old man stuff going on. But
Hey, we're here, right?
yeah,
We're here. So
I mean, what other people in their mid to late 40s? I'm gonna be 45 next week. I know you're a couple years older than me, not too many.
49,
49,
50
man.
next year. So the big 50 next year.
Man, creeps up fast. But what other people our age, like what other guys are typically, other than people we know here, like how often do you think
Yeah.
that guys are 45 and 49 or whatever and doing jiu-jitsu?
A lot of guys our age are sitting on the couch. So you
Yeah.
know. And I've been there. I've been that guy.
Yeah,
So,
same.
A couple years ago, I was that guy.
Yeah, it's weird getting into a routine where you're all of a sudden very active and then you start having this old man stuff with, I mentioned more than a few times, like I just, weird thing on my wrist, and I was like, I figured out what it was, oddly enough. I'm probably the first person on the planet who's ever self-diagnosed through WebMD, probably. Figured out what it was and then fixed it. Took like 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
everything online said it was from like rowing and all these like activities. I'm like, I don't do any of that stuff. And then one was yard work, like raking.
Yeah, I remember you
And I'm
telling me
like,
about that.
I'm like, cool.
The
I
raking
can't do
thing.
jiu-jitsu for 2 weeks because I raked too much over the weekend or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, what's your secret? You lost a bunch of weight too over the last couple of years, right? Last year or so.
Yeah, although in the last couple months I've been putting a little bit back on.
You don't
so
tell
I'm trying
people
to-
that part.
Trying to be a little more disciplined, but yeah, I don't know. For me, I mean, honestly, the old man shit, right? The aches and the pains. But truthfully, whenever I wasn't exercising regularly, I felt way worse than I do now. So yeah, there are some aches and pains, but they're different. It's before it was from being not so much mobility, joints were aching and stuff, and now it's more muscles or maybe some sort of an injury or something like that. But
Things just add up, man. It's crazy.
it's good though. It's you just have to take the time to deal with those things when they happen.
That's the tough part, man. It's so easy to just kind of lean into an injury or just not feeling great and then just have that snowball effect, and all of a sudden you're not training at all, you're not working out, and then you're back to eating, how you were trying not to eat, stuff like that. But
yeah, when I first started jiu-jitsu, I felt like anytime I had to take a little time off the mats, it was I was so afraid of losing momentum and stopping coming.
I don't think that ever stops, man. I mean, I've been on off for like 6 years or so, and
Yeah.
I haven't trained in like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And yeah, I think I drilled a little bit yesterday, and I was like, I feel like I forgot how to do everything. It was, yeah, I hate that feeling of like the momentum. That's a good way to put that. Is you feel like
Yeah.
you're gonna lose momentum and then setback, and then what's the next injury gonna be? And it's always,
It's easy to fall back into old negative behaviors.
yeah,
It really is.
Yeah, I've kind of had to shift kind of the way I think about it. So I'm kind of at this point, I think Rick says this every morning. He's like, I'm just happy to be here, man. But I'm just happy to be here. Like I like, working out and self-defense and all that, but I'm assuming for the rest of my time on the mats, I'm going to have on and off where I'm just injured, not injured, injured, not
Yeah.
injured, not training 100%. I'm just happy to be here. You know what I mean?
I mean, how can you not love being here, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this place, it's been almost 2 years ago since I started, since Takumi was like,
Talked
hey
you
man,
into
you ought
it.
to try this thing out. You ought
Yeah.
to try it. And I said, no, I'm
like,
too
what,
old for
strangling
that.
people on the
That
mat?
sounds, I don't know.
Yeah, because
And
he's
then-
like 30. And
Yeah, well, he's I think he's about 35, so he's good
he's old
14,
now. He's getting
15
old.
years younger than me.
Yeah.
And in great shape. And
Yeah.
it was intimidating, but the
Yeah.
culture here that Joe sets and all the other guys are so
Yeah.
friendly. How can you not love being here?
Yeah, it's weird when you talk to someone that doesn't do jiu-jitsu or never has, and they're like, you're explaining what you do, and they're like, so you pay for that? You're like, yeah, I'd happily pay for it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it was super awkward for me too. I didn't wrestle in high school or anything like that. I grew up with two sisters, roughed house as much as I can with two sisters, and had buddies and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
getting on the mat and being like that close contact with another human being was really weird at first. And
Yeah.
for the first year, I wasn't consistent at all. I was skipping a lot, and it was just frustrating. And then once I finally started getting consistent, started picking some things up, started keeping my knees into my chest and my feet up and things like that, then COVID hit, and I didn't come anywhere near the building for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then came back, got consistent again, broke my ankle, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great environment here. I think everyone pretty much says that. The vibe here is just very laid back. It's a great place to train. And
Yeah. I don't know what I expected, honestly, coming in here. But it certainly wasn't what it's actually been. And what it's been is just
Yeah.
like a bunch of guys that kind of have values that line up, they value hard work, friendship, and just there's not been a person I've encountered here that hasn't tried to help me be the best I can be. So it's great.
That's a great way to explain it too. It's been probably about a year and a half since I've been in a regular office, but it was every office anywhere. There's just like nonstop negativity. Not necessarily about like fitness and stuff like that, but it's like, oh, it's Monday. I hate Mondays. Is it Friday? That sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to do that anywhere. I mean, there's days where I like come in on Monday. I'm like, I don't want to be here. I just want to sleep. Not that I don't want to do jiu-jitsu, but I just want to be in bed or whatever. But yeah, so it's a great environment. There's just no negativity here for the most part, and like you said, everyone's always willing to help out. Everyone always, you're talking about an injury or doing something or having something going on, and there's someone in the room that's like, oh, I had to deal with that last year.
Yeah.
Here's what I did. Here's the site I checked out, or here's a person that could help you out.
Yeah.
Just super helpful.
Just
Especially being a
offer
little
some
bit older.
encouragement, right?
Yeah, the younger guys aren't trying to kill us. They
Well, sometimes they do.
yeah, that's true. Fucking Shay, man.
But
Shay, that guy's mean. He's just
yeah, I
mean.
miss Shay. I don't have anyone to wash my back upstairs anymore.
I know,
so.
man. He's supposed to be here washing back, clipping nails, keeping track, making sure everyone's
Yeah.
doing what they're supposed to. But yeah. So a lot of the stuff I typically talk about is obviously it's jiu-jitsu based, but you do other stuff other than jiu-jitsu and work, right? I mean, kids are a little bit older, but you do
Kids are a little
some mountain
older.
biking, some.
Not as much as I mean, honestly, jiu-jitsu's become my main hobby. But I do a little bit of mountain biking, although I haven't in probably like a year and a half.
Yeah.
But I would say I do more hiking than mountain biking.
Being active.
Yeah, but even that, jiu-jitsu fits so well into my schedule because to hike, you can't really do that Monday through Friday with the job I have,
Yeah.
On the weekends, I feel like it's so many hours away from my family or whatever. And jiu-jitsu is like I can be here at 6 o'clock in the morning. So
Everyone's sleeping.
yeah, it's the only battle is getting out of bed, right? It's the sacrifices. Are you willing to give up a little bit of sleep?
Yeah.
So I can fit that into my life. I can go to work. I can do my job, and then have my evenings with my family. So it just fits
Yeah.
perfectly. It's a mental and physical challenge. It's hard,
Yeah, same
It's
thing.
hard,
Yeah, same thing for me with the timing in the morning. I'm an early morning person anyway,
Yeah.
but people with wives or husbands and kids, and typically no one's doing anything at 6 in the morning. So as long as you're willing to get up,
Yeah.
maybe get to sleep a little bit earlier, especially if you're part of the 6 a.m. collective. Shout out Stefan, you got to get in bed early. I'm no joke. I'm in bed at 7:30, man. I get up at like 4:30. I get here a little earlier. I do a whole routine and straighten up and get things ready or whatever.
Yeah.
So, no one has to worry about it. But still, coming here at 6 o'clock, you're still getting up at like probably worst case scenario 5:30, hitting the road at 5:40.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, it works well. Then again, there's other people that just cannot do the morning thing, and 6 p.m. is perfect for them.
Sure.
It's a little crazier, it's a little busier. This is the first one I did was the nighttime one. I just didn't really, I didn't really like doing a full day of work and eating lunch and all that stuff, and then, trying to stop someone from strangling me. It was just uncomfortable. So
Yeah, I like to eat too much to wait that long. So.
Yeah, I like to get everything out of the way by 8 a.m. and then I've got the whole day to work, do podcasts, edit, whatever, and then by the time I get home, I can have a beer and not have to worry about strangling someone or trying to strangle someone.
Yeah, the 6 a.m. class fits my life, my schedule.
Yeah.
Perfectly. I hope I'm doing this when I'm a 70-year-old guy.
Yeah, that's my plan too, and it's hard to kind of listen to your body and not train. I do it all the time where I'm like, I'm not gonna train today at all. I'm just gonna come in and watch.
Yeah.
But in the back of my head, I'm like, I know I got spats and a rash guard and shorts and stuff in my bag, and I'm like, back, and I start lying to myself. I'm like, my back's cleared up enough. I think I can
do it.
Just a couple of drills.
Yeah.
And then like you walk in or Rick comes in, I'm like, I guess I'm rolling today. Sometimes, and then I regret it later. But
Slippery slope.
that is the Jits life.
Yep.
So, do you do anything special for like bedtime? Like, do you have trouble sleeping and getting up that early, or do you get used to it eventually?
Honestly, I could lay down right now and go to sleep.
My dad's like that.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that can just sleep anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
I would like to go to bed earlier than I do, but part of my evening routine is to try to have dinner as a family.
Yeah.
Of course, my son lives in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's at home. She's in college, but she's commuting to UT, so
cool.
but she's at home. Not every night, but some nights for dinner. So if everyone's there, we like to have dinner together.
Yeah.
One of the things my wife and I do to relax is to just pick out a TV show and watch together.
Nice.
In the evening time. So
yeah.
By the time all that's said and done, it's it could be 9:30 or 10 o'clock before I'm laying down.
Gotcha.
Probably not enough sleep.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things.
Priorities, man. Sleep, jiu-jitsu. And you probably inadvertently just got me in a little bit of trouble with Fawn.
Uh-oh.
With so we used to watch TV.
Just kidding, Fawn.
Yeah, he doesn't watch.
We don't watch TV. I sleep on the couch.
He
while
goes
my
right
wife
to
watches
bed.
TV.
Yeah, no, it's like 7:30, and Quinn doesn't go to bed till like 8:39.
Yeah.
So I'm in bed before my 8-year-old son typically, and so we used to set aside a show, like an hour show, or sometimes 2, when I was going to bed at like 10. And now I'm just not that like I don't mind. Wouldn't mind waiting up till 10, going to bed, because I get up at 4:30. So I'd rather have 6 solid hours of sleep than like a broken up 8, which is typically what I get. But the problem is like 7:30, I'm like.
Yeah, you're also coming in here before I am, so.
Yeah, I typically get here a little bit after 5. I get up my alarm goes off at 4:30. So because of getting up that early, I don't necessarily need to go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Right.
I don't need 8.5 hours of sleep, but my eyes are literally shutting, and I'm like trying to pay attention. So yeah, TV went out the window a little while ago at night. Actually, with that, we're active on the weekends too. Quinn's pretty active, so we don't watch a lot of TV on the weekends at all. I mean, my wife probably does after I pass out I stay up pretty late on the weekends. I'm in bed like 8:45, pretty late. So kind of same thing.
Party animal.
It's just out of control sometimes. But yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I don't really watch TV anymore. So I forget when it was. I think Sunday we dropped off Quinn and his grandparents. He was going to hang out with them for Veterans Day instead of going to aftercare. And it was like, I don't know, we got back to the house after dropping him off and doing some stuff, and it was like 6:30. And I'm like, all right, this is your big day. Pick 2 shows. I'll try to stay up for half of one of them, but you pick 2 shows.
Half of one of them.
Yeah, I forget what we ended up watching. We ended up watching I think we watched a movie or something. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
it was odd, but anyway.
What about Yellowstone? You guys check that one out?
We do. I don't know if we've seen it. It did just come back.
Yeah, the new one just came back.
I don't think we started watching the new one yet. I think we're caught up. That was one of those shows like Breaking Bad that we just started way too late. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we're caught up or not.
Breaking Bad was a trip. Yeah, that was a good one.
There's so many good shows, that and Dexter, and
Yeah.
ton of good ones. Yeah, Yellowstone's a good one. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what she watches anymore. So we had like 10 different seasons of different things where we were watching, and we'd watch one till the season was over, and then we'd go to this show. And I don't remember last time I watched regular TV, but That Jits Life, I guess. So I think you lost a lot more weight than I did, total.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. Probably about 40 pounds.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
even if you put that back on a couple, you're still down 35,
Yeah,
37
yeah, I'm
pounds.
still down 35-ish. Yeah.
That's since you started training?
Since I started training, yeah. So and that's been about 2 years. It'll be 2 years this month in November since I
Nice.
started. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah, it's flown by.
Yeah, I was gonna say, other than jiu-jitsu, do you do a lot with your did you do a lot with your diet to make that happen?
I think early on I was just super mindful
Yeah.
of what I was eating, but try to focus more on like whole foods, like real food and less processed stuff. So I eat
Yeah.
a ton of like eggs. There's a lady that my wife works with who they have some chickens, and she brings eggs in all the time, and
Nice.
so yeah, we get like free farm eggs. But I'll definitely have to check out some of Dan's.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Yeah.
They're $5. It's probably about the same
Oh,
price
that's a
for
good
a
deal
set
for a
of
dozen.
really. Yeah, I mean, really the crappiest eggs you can find in the
Oh,
store
yeah.
are probably about that price.
Yeah,
so
that's actually a great price.
yeah, they got Benton's bacon in there too. I think it's $9. Normally it's maybe it's I think it's 9 or 10. Normally it's a couple bucks more.
Yeah.
Cheese from Sweetwater is delicious too. Dan's daughter Lauren makes this amazing challah bread. I'm not sure if you ever had it. It's an Israeli bread.
haven't.
I'm half Jewish, so all the Jewish holidays, all the dinners growing up in New Jersey, we always had someone that made challah bread.
Oh wow.
It's I forget how they explained it, but it's like have it for breakfast. Like you put it in the toaster oven, put a little butter on it, breaks apart. As a joke, I mean, because it's like this big, and we ate maybe half of it. I made a bunch of French toast, so I had this big piece of it left. And as a joke, I cut it open and I made a giant roast beef sandwich with like a pound of roast beef or half a pound of roast beef. And I was gonna just take a picture of it for content for them. So I did that, and the picture didn't do justice. So I ended up eating it. I ended up eating the whole thing. I didn't
Yeah.
eat that whole day.
Of course you did.
Breaks apart so easily. Anyway, get challah bread. If you see one in there, it's $10. Very well worth it.
Okay.
It lasts
yeah,
for a
I'll
while.
check it out.
Delicious, but
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a good combo. Kind of eating healthy and jiu-jitsu sort of forces
Yeah.
you down that route.
Yeah. Try to eat healthy. And there's a difference in those farm eggs and the
Yeah.
cheap eggs you get at the grocery store, like the color of the yolks and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'd be like bright orange.
And it has to
and
do with
stuff.
like what the chicken is eating, right?
What is
think so.
eating? I think what is eating, and then how it lives probably. Can
Yeah.
they say like cage free?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's it might be in a
Not really.
smaller section with like a bunch
Still
of other chickens are
lived
crammed
its whole life in
in.
a barn, right?
Yeah, so I think most places, I think Dan's is like this too, or the Farm Bus, where they're, I think they have 200-300 chickens, and I think it's called, they'll have to correct me, I believe it's called regenerative farming.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
move the spot around the chickens or whatever, it's eating the grass and
They're outside, they get sun.
Yeah, and they move
eating
around
bugs
constantly.
and stuff.
Yeah, but extremely high quality stuff. But yeah, that's kind of I lost 30-35 pounds. I was already doing jiu-jitsu, so that was I probably was able to amp it up and start working out more. But for me, it was mainly eating, and I've kind of creeped back into eating sort of crappy, and my joints are killing me for it. So I think I probably need to work on less processed food for sure.
Yeah. It's easy, man. It's I don't want to say it's difficult to eat healthy, but it's so convenient to just go into the cabinet and grab.
Yeah.
I ate some like tortilla chips last night. We were watching that episode of Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you get the munchies when you're sitting there late at night. That'd be one advantage to going to bed earlier. I'd probably eat way less junk food.
I
because
still get the
that's-
munchies. I get it with beer. So my thing is
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah.
I have like one strong IPA, but last night I made ground turkey. We made ground turkey tacos. So it's just a big wrap. So I made these two, like we ate the entire pound turkey between the two of us. And my wife's, pretty small. I ate probably 3/4 of it, and got done eating, and I'm like, I got granola over the weekend. I ended up eating like a big bowl of just granola, and I'm snacking on chips, and anyway. But
Yeah, me too.
it's a process.
I drink a little bit of beer, but I mainly like, bourbon.
You're the bourbon. You and Rick are the bourbon
have you
guys.
over, and we're gonna drink some bourbon.
Yeah, originally this podcast was supposed to be in Cory's backyard. He lives like 4 houses from me, so we're gonna do a fire pit bourbon tasting episode, which we can still do. There's no reason we can't do that. Me and you and Rick should do that.
Yeah.
Sometime. I think you say you heard me and Mike Stone's episode. We were talking about drinking beer and had you thinking about doing a tasting.
Thinking about some bourbon. Yeah. See if I can get you to become a party animal. Stay up past 9:15, right?
You might not want that. I have
No.
if I have one beer and even one alcoholic drink, I sometimes will black out. I don't pass out, I just don't remember. So I don't get violent or anything like that. I'll just steal everything in your house. So.
I don't do that. I don't do that kind of drinking. It's just chill by the fire pit and sip a little bourbon.
I'll do one real one. What color does it look like? Apple juice? Maybe I'll have one real bourbon, and then I'll just pound a bunch of fake ones or whatever, just so I can make it back to my house. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't take an Uber.
That's one thing about starting here. We didn't even know each other, and you live at the other end of the street, right?
Yeah, it was so funny. I think I just saw you driving out of the neighborhood one day. I was like, I think that's a dude from Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, do you live in? And you're like, yeah. I was like, we live 4 houses from each other.
Yeah.
And we still have not done Jiu-Jitsu outside of here.
Yeah. Well,
we can. Maybe when my back's better, we can start doing a street Jiu-Jitsu or something.
Street Jiu-Jitsu.
What do you think about all those? To not go off on a tangent, but what do you think about all those crazy telephone jiu-jitsu, car jiu-jitsu? I think there's one now where they hang from this. They're it's like a pull-up bar, but it hangs from the ceiling and it's like a square, and 4 people hang from a side and they just kick the crap out of each other.
I don't think I've seen that.
I think I saw a clip of it on Instagram. I don't know if that's real or what. They're probably all Russians. I think it's all the Russians that do these crazy. But have you ever seen that? The car one, they pull each other in the one's in the back seat, one's in front. They slap bump and then they just go nuts.
I have seen someone do a jiu-jitsu match inside of a car. I have seen that, yeah.
You don't see football inside of a car, do you?
That's weird.
Soccer, baseball, jiu-jitsu, man.
I don't know. They say jiu-jitsu doesn't work in the streets, right? So
I don't know, man. You see all those videos
of
Uber drivers getting attacked or whatever, and they got the camera on. Take some jiu-jitsu, learn how to do car jiu-jitsu, and then you're set as an Uber driver.
I don't think there's a rule that says just because you know some jiu-jitsu that means you're not allowed to punch or kick or do all the other things, right? So,
I mean, not in here. It's kind of frowned upon.
Yeah, not in here, but I'm talking about as a self-defense kind of thing. So
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
We've tried I haven't personally tried it, but I think some people here have tried slap jitsu. You ever see combat jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think that's an Eddie Bravo thing.
Is it?
Combat jiu-jitsu. They can open palm strike.
Yeah.
So you see just dudes trying to triangle someone and then just slapping them. They do open palm strikes in the side. I think people are getting knocked out from palm strikes. It's not.
That's what I need to keep Takumi from triangle choking me every time we roll.
I mean, you check around the room, make sure no one's looking, make sure no one's recording. But if you need to pop him in the dome or something like that, get him to back off, triangle him, and then
Yeah.
I won't tell anybody. I won't say anything. But
keep it on the down low, right?
Yeah, exactly. But anything else I forgot to bring up or talk about? There's a lot of stuff jiu-jitsu related, but you can go on for hours and hours and hours. But
yeah, man, I could sit and talk for hours, like you said. But
I have an idea. Anyone in the gym you want to call out?
Call out?
Call out in numerous ways. You can call out for a match because you wanna roll with them, or someone like Shay. Just call him out.
Well, yeah, I need Shay to come back.
You don't have to roll with him. You just call him out.
I need my back washed, but
Shit, come back, wash our back.
Yeah, come back and wash my bag. But no call outs, no negative call outs or nothing like that. But just man, all these guys are just.
No people giving you crap. We need to talk about her.
Oh gosh, no.
We've got a few Matt Forcers here. We can have.
These people are so nice to an old guy, right? I mean, there's. I come in here. I was probably 225 pounds. I was 47 when I started. Yeah. And people were just accepting and helped me and encouraged me and all those things.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would still be doing jiu-jitsu because it was so.
Yeah.
The idea of coming in here was so uncomfortable to begin with, and then all the things we're doing. But it was the people, and it was Joe and Stefan and all you guys that made me okay, maybe I can make a place here, So
Exactly. That's how I feel too. Yeah. Yeah. All joking aside, I've never really had any. I'm sure there have been people that have come and go that they just didn't fit in, or didn't fit in the sense that not that they weren't welcome, but I'm sure there's women like this too, maybe, but for the most part, it's a guy. Like there's extremely alpha dudes that don't know how to fight. They're just maybe just really, really tough. They had a bunch of street fights or fought, growing up in the street, stuff like that. But come to a place like this, and you don't luckily get out of a triangle or luckily tap someone that they get tapped out, they can't handle it, and they just leave and don't come back. And
yeah, if you've got an ego, this is probably not the sport for you.
No, yeah, you got to keep that checked at the door.
Yeah, there's going to be people that are better than you. There's going to be people that are way better than you. And you're going to be. I mean, it's humbling, I mean, there's been so many times on this mat I thought, like, man, I'm not cut out for this,
And it's so weird too, because it's not even like I can't think of a specific sport like where you can tell progression in like the bigger guy, the biggest guy, or maybe the youngest. But it's jiu-jitsu. You can come in here and look like Matt York and have some guy half your size with a handlebar mustache. Not knocking anyone that has a handlebar mustache, but someone that you'd look at and be like, that guy doesn't look like he does sports at all, and then this guy's just tapping people left and right.
Yeah, you can't base anything on that.
It's humbling is a good word too. It's cool to see that too. So anytime I get tapped by someone, I'm like, I thought, I didn't say this out loud, but I'm like, when they walked in the door, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna tap that person. And then I'm like, oh, they've been actually training for a long time, and they just destroy me.
I've learned to never underestimate anyone. For that, and I don't know about you, but there's constant ups and downs. Like I'll have periods of time where I feel like I'm progressing really well and doing really well, and then it'll turn and it'll go the opposite way, and it's like a new challenge. And okay, I've got to try to figure out a way out of this, lull or whatever.
I think that's for everyone. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't have that going on. Like just either not training at 100%, you've got an injury, or just sometimes you just have off days, or you just not that I'm like, the end all be all of explaining how jiu-jitsu works. I've barely been doing it. But I imagine that's at all levels. You just go through a phase where you're like plateau, you don't feel like you're getting any better, and then something changes, you learn how to do an armbar differently.
Like I'm getting worse.
That's probably more often than feeling like you're picking stuff up better.
That's one of the things I love about it, is a challenge. So,
anyway. Exactly, same. That's probably a good spot to end it, man.
Man.
Thanks again, man. I really appreciate this. And talking about Takumi, I'm going to be doing probably the same exact setup with him on Friday. So, and
he's an interesting guy, a great friend. And he also likes bourbon, so he has to join us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll close this place down and have one big bourbon party here on the mats. That could quickly get out of hand to people grappling and strangling each other.
Yeah, that could get out of hand.
Anyway, thanks again, man. I appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow, dude.
See you.
I mean,
Is that recording? Okay, cool.
That Jits Life.